Look at these homemade cheddar chalupa tacos. That shell is like perfectly perfect toasted cheddar chalupa. And then the Doritos Locos tacos. Look at this, guys. I made the Doritos Locos taco. Wow. Those are so good. So I'm going to be starting with the toasted cheddar chalupa dough, which is basically just Indian fry bread. And I did flour, shortening, baking powder, salt, and then I did half and half, but I'm going to stick with water next time. I like it a lot better with water. I think the half and half made it a little funnel cakey, but it was still really good. I'm going to be kneading it until it is smooth, and then I'm going to set it to the side, put a damp towel on it, let it rest for about 20 minutes, and then I'm going to roll it out. But in the meantime, I'm going to start on my Taco Bell, fake Taco Bell meat, because do we really know what's in it? But I try to mimic it as much as possible, although you don't have to do this. You guys know how I am about copycat recipes. I have to get down to the bottom of it. So all I do is take some 80-20 ground beef and I sear it first because, you know, added flavor and whatnot. Then I'm going to break it down, and then once it's pretty much cooked, I'm going to make a hole in the center, and I'm going to be adding my Taco Bell seasonings, which I will have linked down below, but it's onion powder, garlic powder, paprika, cayenne, you know, all the usual suspects, salt, pepper. And I'm just going to put that in the middle so that I can make, oh, and then also flour. But I'm going to put that in the middle with the fat and the juices so that I can make sort of like a roux with the fat from the beef. And after I cook off the seasonings and the flour, I'm going to adjust my seasonings, of course. Add my water. And then once that starts bubbling, I'm going to go in with my stick blender to get it down even more fake taco meaty-ish. But like I said, you could skip this step. And it didn't look that great, but it definitely gave me the Taco Bell meat vibes. Anyway, moving on, I'm going to start my fire sauce. I love this stuff. I love this stuff. It's not quite tasting the same, but it is still really good. A really good like homemade fire sauce. So I'm just going to be doing a quarter of an onion, 2 jalapenos, and a couple of cloves of garlic, which I did not show for some reason. And then I'm just going to saute those until they brown a little bit. Then I'm going to be adding everything that goes into the fire sauce into the blender. Don't mind this camera. I've been trying to film for Instagram too, and it has been hectic. So I'm just going to add all that to the grinder, and then I'm going to add some tomato paste, minced onion, garlic powder, chili powder. Where I got these ingredients is I read the back of my fire sauce, and that's how I came up with these ingredients, and adjusted the flavors to get it as close as possible. Then I just blend that all up. Then I'll let it sit for a little bit to marinate the flavors. Then I'm going to jump into chopping. You guys already know this is straightforward. I leave the chopping in for you guys because a lot of you guys say that you like it. So I'm just chopping up some tomatoes, some lettuce and onion, what I'm going to be putting on my tacos. After that, I'm going to start my taco seasoning, or my Doritos Locos seasonings. So then I'm going to start off with some green and red bell pepper, dehydrated and diced from the Spice House. I'm going to mix equal parts of both, and then I'm going to blend it up in my spice grinder. I was shooting for Doritos Locos, but then ended up going for Doritos because I ended up reading a Doritos bag. And I just want to say, I mentioned this in the mukbang part, but I try to start off with an even amount of all the seasonings, and then I adjusted from there to try to get it as close to Doritos as possible. So like I said, I will have those down in the description, but I will not have the correct measurements because I kind of went off taste, and if you want to make these, that's what you're gonna have to do too, to kind of get it where you want it to be. So my suggestion is to I started off with a teaspoon of everything except for like citric acid and one other thing, and then I just worked my way up from there, if that makes sense. And it came out tasting like a Dorito. I wanted Doritos Locos, but it came out like Doritos, which is perfectly fine with me. So now I'm gonna roll out my chalupa dough. I'm gonna round it out a little bit. I didn't do so well of a job, but it works out anyway. I'm gonna roll that out. And then halfway through, I'm gonna brush it with a little oil. And then I'm gonna put my cheddar cheese and I'm gonna roll it into the dough until it's all kind of incorporated, and whatever's like hanging off on the side, I'm just gonna like remove that. I'm gonna poke holes in it, even though I don't think this helped very much. I think that has something to do with the amount of baking powder I had in this. But I poked some holes, and then I'm gonna put it into the fryer with cheese side up, because I found that if you put it cheese side down, all the cheese basically just kind of dissipates. So you want to put it on cheese side up. And then you want to fry it for a little bit, flip it. When you start to see it brown, you want to flip it. And I was struggling, a little trial and error, and I got these right. So after I flip it, I fold it over on itself to make like a shell. I didn't want to use my taco shell maker because I feel like that would have been too wide. And you're gonna see what happens when I try to do cheese side down. Basically, all of the cheese just kind of floats away, and I have to use my spider to get it out. And you want to definitely use a strainer to get all of this cheese out, otherwise your oil will burn. So make sure you're getting the bits of cheese out while you're frying. But overall, I think this was good. I'm definitely gonna have to try it again so that I can master it a little bit better, but for the most part, this was pretty spot on. So now I'm going to do my Doritos taco, which I'm going to be taking my Arizona fried shells, specifically Arizona fried shells, because they're a little bit more dry of a corn tortilla, so they crisp up really crispy, like really crispy, versus like white corn tortillas or whatever you get. I'm going to put it in on one side, put it in on the other side, and then I'm going to fold it over like a taco, and I'm just going to leave it in there until it crisps up. Then take it out of the oil immediately. As soon as I take it out of the oil immediately, I dust it with our cheese blend so that it sticks to the shell. And look at it, they were perfect. And sorry, my hand is shaking. They were hot. They were so hot. And so now I'm gonna stuff them. I had a lot of trouble doing this because I wanted to keep them together, but they were crispy, so they were trying to break apart. But I'd rather have them crispy than not crispy. So If they break apart, it's fine. Just put your toppings on one side and then put together the shell, and it should be fine. I just did not explain that very well. I'm gonna put everything that you would put in a Taco Bell taco, and yeah, these were a little difficult to put together, but in the end they really did come together and they were so good. I actually almost ate all of my tacos this time, you guys. Anyway, if you guys are still here, leave hashtag Cookmas day 14, and I will see you in the mukbang part. Hey you guys, welcome back to the channel, and today, as you can see from the title, I made toasted cheddar chalupas and Doritos Locos tacos. I'm gonna say attempted, okay? Because there's supposed to be a couple more things on here, but that went horribly wrong. But it doesn't matter, because today we got what I actually was excited to make. The other thing I was gonna make was crunch wraps, but I already made that like 100 times, so I do not care about the crunch wraps. But can I just say hello? Look at these homemade cheddar chalupa tacos. They look pretty good. This one's falling apart to death, but it still looks so good. And then the Doritos Locos tacos. Look at this, guys. I made the Doritos Locos taco, and we're gonna jump right into this. And also, I made some fire sauce back here. That is my favorite sauce to get from Taco Bell, is the fire sauce. So I made that as well. Let's jump right into this. I'm gonna try this cheddar chalupa. Put a little fire sauce on there. Here we go. First bite, guys. Wow. Those are so good. They're light, they're airy, crispy. I had the hardest time trying to put these together. As a matter of fact, I cried. I cried before I sat down and ate. I really did, guys. Let's try this Doritos Locos taco. A little fire sauce. I really just made a Doritos Locos tacos. Oh my god. Wow, just wow. I don't even know what to say right now. I don't even know what to say. Okay. Let me stop. I'm being dramatic, but it's like when you work all day, I broke down today. And when you sit down and you finally try it and you're like, wow, that is really good. Because sometimes these copycat recipes, I try to do them exactly, and I'm such a stickler on trying to get the like it perfect. When you sit down, you eat, and you're like, that tastes good, spectacular. It doesn't taste like Taco Bell because it tastes better than Taco Bell. Like these shells, I had to deal with the fact that I couldn't make them crunchy and also stuff the shell, because then they would have all broke, and some of them did, and I was like, ugh. But it doesn't matter because the flavor is there. And it's like, I was sitting there thinking to myself, I said, while they were breaking, I was like, well, it wouldn't be a true Taco Bell Doritos Locos taco if it wasn't breaking. So I was like, you know what, we're just gonna push through. And I gotta tell y'all what happened with this fire sauce. Oh my gosh. Is it not a Doritos Locos Tacos if it doesn't fall apart? Or is it not a Taco Bell taco if it doesn't fall apart? And these ones too. I was getting so frustrated. I was getting so frustrated with these, but it's all worth it. I mean, come on, look at it. The toasted shell. I gotta tell y'all what happened with the fire sauce. I was making the fire sauce. I was actually using one of my old recipes. Taco falling apart over here. My God. I really can't get enough of these tacos, man. That is crazy. Yeah. That's why I have that big old screen right there. I've been caught too many times slipping. It tastes like a Doritos taco. So I was trying to get it to mimic, obviously, Doritos Locos taco, but what I ended up doing was making it taste like a Dorito taco. And how I got the flavorings for the Doritos taco was I looked up the Doritos and what was in the ingredients, and basically when you look at an ingredients list, I don't know if you know, the ladies might know this, when you're looking at your skincare, whatever is at the top has the most of that ingredient. And so that's basically what I went off of, like just reading what they had. And obviously they had the cheddar cheese powder, Romano powder, Parmesan powder, red bell pepper, tomato powder. And so I ordered all of those from the Spice House online. And then basically all I did was put them together. I put 1 tablespoon or 1 teaspoon of each. Yeah, I put about 1 teaspoon of each. So I started off at a solid level, and then I tried it, and then whatever I felt like it needed more of is how I added it, if that makes sense. And it tastes like a Dorito. It's super good. I've made these before on my channel, like way back. And I actually made the shell, but I didn't want to do that today because I feel like when you make the shell and then you fry it, it doesn't taste like it. So you're really only getting the color. Had to wipe my mouth. Okay, I'm doing too much. But you can definitely tell which ones I try to soft fry and which ones I try to hard fry. If I'm gonna have to go with one, it's definitely gonna be the hard fry. Even though it falls apart, what I basically did was, I should have showed you guys, I don't know. I was frustrated. Like I said, I cried right before this. But what I did was, when it broke apart, I just put the meat on one side, and then I put the sour cream, and then I like put it together and then sprinkled the stuff, and then it worked. So I definitely prefer the crunchier ones of these. They all kind of survived after that. Let me see. They all kind of survived. After it's all said and done, when I can sit here and say, yeah, that turned out, then I'm happy. So I'm gonna have the measurements down below, but I will have a disclaimer that a lot of this stuff was trial and error. So if you are gonna make this, start with a base and keep adding until you get that Doritos flavor. And if anything, I recommend getting the Doritos or whatever you're trying to mimic, and then try it like together simultaneously to see if you can get the flavor. Can I just say, underrated of the whole thing is this fire sauce. I almost died, almost choked to death trying to make this today. Jalapenos have been spicy for I don't know what reason lately. They have not been this spicy ever. Anyway, I'm gonna call it on that one, you guys. I'm so glad I pushed through. I had a moment, just a moment of like doubt on if I was gonna do it, but like I said, that's the point of pushing myself this Christmas. So we're gonna call it on that. I pretty much ate them all. Guys, are you proud of me? Let me know down in the comments below if you guys are proud of me, just a little bit, okay? Look at this one. Look at this shell. That shell is like perfectly perfect toasted cheddar chalupa. Just perfect. I love you guys. I gotta run. I gotta go edit right now. Get this up for you. Oh wait, if you guys are still here, leave me some lettuce emojis in the comments.